I'm going to speak about Cisco NX-OS, which is a short name for Nexus OS, which is a brand new virtualization platform for Cisco. And what I'm going to cover today is a short introduction to NX-OS. I'm going to talk about the history of my research, about the underlying Linux operating system that probably not too many know about, and disclose some vulnerabilities. As you all know, there was some problems with the USB sticks yesterday. That was my fault. At least one of my disclosures has to be delayed up there, and I hope that I can present these to T2 later this fall. So if anybody of you go to T2, you have a chance to see it. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. All right. I've been looking at a hardware system called Cisco 7000, which looks like that. It's pretty huge. It's essentially a PC with two motherboards, and the two motherboards are a failover. It's a failover solution, which makes you can operate it through redundancy and stuff, and it's based off Linux, and there's a few new there's a few new names here. VDC, it's a virtual device context, which is actually a virtual switch within the same hardware. So you have one hardware, where you can have several virtual switches within it, separated at layer 1. This operating system that I've been looking at exists in all these platforms here. So if you have any of these, I'm sorry. Is there anybody from Cisco here, around here today? Anyone? No? Do anyone here recognize any of these systems? Yeah, a few hands. Have anybody worked with them? Just right. Thank you. All right. So what I've done is I accidentally ran into a problem on a Cisco 7020 that was discovered 9 years ago by our old friend FX, Felix Lindner. This denial of service attack was first discovered in Catalyst OS prior to iOS, then rediscovered in iOS a few years later, and then rediscovered in NX-OS 9 years after. It's just a small credit to Cisco and their security team. As some may know, some may not know, Cisco are, from a few years back, working according to Microsoft's secure development life cycle. I'm not sure if this product has been going through that, but we'll see. Anyway, I've been able to recover core dumps from the Cisco, as this is an Intel system. It can be readable by just a debugger from any Linux system. And this is the interesting part, because when you get the operating system files from Cisco, you get this huge bin file, which you just smack onto the machine and everything works. So I was able to extract the content of this bin file, and doing so, I get all the binaries to the underlying Linux system, and all the configuration files, of course. And that's where the fun begins. So I've been able to find a few exploits or a few vulnerabilities, and I have not gone into the virtualization, so don't ask me about that, because I don't even know how it works. I'm going to do that later on at some point. All right. Typical environments, banking, finance. I've been speaking to some representatives of Cisco, asking where these systems are found or sold, and they say it's mostly banking and finance because they're so bloody expensive. Nobody can afford them anyway. Just getting a Cisco 7000 costs you about 150,000 euros without any extra cost and that stuff. So yeah, large data centers. They call this a data center solution. Hence, you can have one switch, virtualization, making virtual switches for the whole data center. You just have one hardware. You save space. You save the environment. You save someone else. I don't know. The impact, of course, is full exposure to all the networks, all the LANs. I mean, imagine if you have a data center with just one hardware and its own oops. And yeah, you can obviously eavesdrop on the traffic. Switch-based rootkits? I don't know. I haven't done this, but it's just speculation. Alright, this is, can you guys see it in the back? This is the physical hardware, right? This is two virtual switches talking all these nice little protocols between each other. And under there you have some other stuff. Linux comes in here somewhere, prior to the kernel. And yeah, I stole this picture from Cisco, so that's how it is. So apparently they should be separated in layer 1. As I said, I haven't gone into this, so this is just a layout of how it works. The Linux. I have to warn you because this is spectacular, in my opinion. What they've done actually, I mean, prior to, when you're looking at iOS is simply just a big kernel with all the interpreters in the same binary kind of thing. So what they've done is they've split all the protocol interpreters into separate processes. I suppose this is something to do with security, because I mean, obviously if you just crash one process, you don't crash the whole machine, as in iOS. So this is all the protocol interpreters running as root. And obviously that must be good for security. I mean, there's a few places where things can go wrong. I haven't gone into all these protocols. I just looked at one, and that's where I found the first problem. So there's probably going to be tons and tons of problems here in the future. All right. So one thing I discovered quite fast is that you have this the command line interface. Everybody's working with Cisco are familiar with the command line interface where you telnet or SSH into the machine, and you can hit the commands, you tab, and you get the completions, and everything is just automatic. What people don't know, probably, is that these commands are driven from configuration files. And as I've been able to extract all the files from binaries, I get all the configuration files as well. And that's why I found the hidden commands. I made a small grep for hidden in all the configuration files, and I found that many. I will not go through all of them because there's quite a few. 681, it says. These are not just normal commands. These could be parts of a command. It could be one parameter of a command. It could be just something very small. So don't think that there's 681 unknown commands. It could be just parameters or something. So this is what it looks like in the configuration. Can everybody see this? Even in the back. Matthias?
I see it.
This is the syntax. It says system GDB parameter. Right? This is the full syntax. And this is the help information. And the hide, the GDB, and the parameter. So system is visible, but these two are not. Is that clear? And yeah, you have the permissions here as well. You have to be admin. So this, it looks like this when you try to get the information from system GDB. Well, it does unknown. That's why it's hidden. Yes. So if you have GDB, what could possibly go wrong? I've been able to use this GDB implementation in order to escape the Cisco shell, in order to get access to the underlying Linux operating system. So what we do is looking at all the processes. This is within the switch. This is the switch command, and some of these processes are pretty much familiar to Linux users, I suppose. And here's the bit numbers. So what I did is I take a random bit number with a process that's supposed to run on the root context, and it said, okay, well, let's listen to 10,001. So what I do later on is I connect my GDB to the machine, and I get hooked into the process. And obviously, people that are familiar with GDB knows that it can call arbitrary commands, arbitrary functions actually, within binary. This means that if I have a process owned by root, I can execute commands that root. That's a big problem. So, how could that happen? I mean, it's not magic. I mean, at some point, someone has to go into UID 0 and do some magic. So, essentially, what they're doing is they have this overlaying shell which you see, and it does some automatic commands in between you and the Linux. So, for instance, when you execute the GDB, it actually runs sudo GDB, because your Linux user is a non-privileged user, even though you are an admin on the switch. Security example. So, what could possibly go wrong here? This is all the sudoers, all the commands you can run using sudo as default. And that's quite a few things. Does anybody spot the problem here? There's a couple. First of all, you have the GDB server, which is executed from the command line, and then you have all no password, which means that any Linux user on the system can execute every of these commands with no password. Obviously, there must be something good in that. And I mean, you have all this. Let's see if I can find these ones. You have IP tables. You can configure IP addresses. You can ping things with root. I don't know why. But obviously, I mean, most of these commands are pretty useless. I mean, cat, then blue. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in some yeah, but some of these are restricted for just a specific file. So yes, that's a problem. So what's about layer 2? The first thing I discovered when I started working with this is that I was able to execute a denial-of-service attack that Mr. FX did in 2001. I did it this year. And it was against this daemon here, CDP, which is obviously running on the root. So I've been trying to figure out if it's possible to exploit this, but my assembly skills are kind of crap. So it hasn't really gone right. And just to point it out, if I had been able to exploit this, I wouldn't have been able to present it today. So anyway, I checked. I was able to create some call files, and we have some nice numbers here and some nice numbers here. So 2 registers are overwritten, and you guys that know this kind of stuff probably can figure out how to fix this or how to elevate yourself. And that's what actually breaks. They've written a packet handler which then allocates memory from their own written memory allocation function, which then does a lot of other things and it crashes. So at some point their malloc implementation might be crappy. I'm not sure. But that's what it looks like. Yes. No. As I said, I'm not really good at this stuff. This helpful? Yeah. All right. This is also pretty interesting. I came across the password file and I discovered this. Yeah. This is a user which actually only is visible if you break into the Linux backend. Not, you can't see it if you're in the command line interface. It's impossible. And I broke the password, and this I got it. Yeah. And I also did some research into how did this end up here. And I found the installation templates for Casp and Shadow and those files, and it's in the template. So it's not just random, it's there. However, as you see here, no bash means I can't do too much with this. I've been trying to do a lot of things. I mean, you can obviously connect without spawning a shell, but that doesn't help us too much. I've been trying to open tunnels, like TCP forward, but it doesn't work. I actually have the configuration file for the SSH.
You looked at the no bash file?
No, I haven't.
You should. You should.
I haven't looked at the no bash file, no. And actually, this is actually correct. I hacked in my bash there, otherwise I would get into the shell, the Cisco shell. So this is not correct. That's my hack. And it could be something else, obviously. Yes. Yeah. And yeah, just to show you, when I display the user's within the switch, I have my own user, but no FTP user. So you can't see this unless you're breaking into the Linux. And I don't know why it's there. I mean, it could be possibly that you have to SSH in some super fancy way. I have no idea. It could just be some crappy leftovers. But if you guys have any ideas how to, well, I haven't looked at the OBAT, but if you have some other ideas, I'm happy to talk to you. So, I searched on Google for the password and Cisco, and actually it doesn't show up anything that's any interest, because all of these are just examples of how to generate your own self-signed certificates. So obviously it's a Cisco-related test password or something. I don't know, but it's nothing really obvious what it is. So by tracking, I'm just going to show this to you guys because so you know that there is some progress. I'm going to release these advisories within the next week or something. When I get the CV numbers and all the CVSS scoring and all that crap. And as you see here, there's a fix for the GDB bug. They are actually going to erase the GDB server from the implementation, which is good, I suppose. And the undocumented user is no one knows what it is. At least no one's telling me. And the CDP kind of crap is, well, they don't have a specific fix for it, but they say just disable it. Well, I mean, I suppose it's going to be in some later release, but for now it's disabled. And yeah, and then the pseudo privilege escalation vulnerability. Interesting name. I mean, isn't pseudo for privilege escalation? I don't know. You can elevate your security in a bad way. Anyway, they're supposed to fix that at some point as well. I mean, I suppose this is not really high enough because you need to break the command line interface before you do anything with this. So it's kind of hard. And I mean, most of these things you need either physical network access to the same LAN, or you need a local account to be able to exploit. And that's pretty much why they decided to let me show this. I mean, so, for instance, the CDP is on layer 2, and as you know, it's not routable, so you need to be on the same physical network. But if we can make this work, if we can get the CDP buffer overflow to work, it could probably be one of the first layer 2 remote buffer overflows ever seen. Probably. I don't know. I haven't seen it before. And actually, I don't have a lot more to present because I had a demo, which I can't show you, due to there's another online interface escape which you can utilize as a non-privileged Cisco user, and that's scored too high, so I can't show that. But it's very neat. I would like to show it because it's one command line. You type one command line into the shell, and poof, you get the shell. I can't tell you that. But it's a hidden command. I can tell you that. So it's one of the 681 that you don't know. But it's a very stupid implementation of something anyway. I would like to say some special thanks to Juan Manuel Gonzalez the incident response manager that I've been speaking to. He's been very forthcoming, and he received my slides yesterday, and he was impressed, and he asked if you could share them with the Nexus developers. And yeah, I said, yeah, sure, no problem.
You didn't invite them here?
Yeah, I actually spoke with him yesterday. So, Q&A.
Okay, thank you very much, George. I think we'll have a ton of questions, so it's actually good that you shortened time. I'm going to start with some questions myself. I guess you could just take all the binary protocol analyzers and run them on anything.
Yes.
And you could start selling really good Cisco machines. Which would be interesting. And I guess that then for you it's going to be quite easy to continue fast testing and running everything.
They actually asked me if the binary file where I extracted all the operating system files, configuration files, if there was any encryption that I broke. But I said no, it's just obfuscation. So yeah.
Yes, that's my first question. And this other password and stuff, have you tried that on any other non-Nexus Cisco stuff?
No, I don't have access to too many Cisco routers, so it could be.
You can borrow some from me.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting off with the questions from the audience. So, what's the name of the bunny?
Well, I borrowed these from Suicidal Bunnies, just because we're tool group and there has to be bunnies.
Okay.
You can repeat my question, maybe.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of GPL applications in this device. Have you considered going for a GPL violation to get the source code out of the Linux backend?
No, I haven't. I haven't even thought about it.
Yeah, the question was, since there is a lot of GPL software apparently running on the machine, if George had been thinking of claiming the source code from Cisco.
Well, actually, I mean, they have a disclaimer when you log on to the NXOS. There is a open source disclaimer saying DPL license, blah blah. But I'm not that kind of guy that knows these things, so it could probably work. I haven't thought about it.
One of the cool things with the Nexus platform is the wire speed encryption on the ports, and it's up to 10 gig. Have you looked at the implementation of it, or will you look at it?
I will probably look at it now that I know it exists. As I said, I mean, I don't even know how this switch works. I've just been cracking it.
Can you tell us something about the firmware format, the bin files? Is it similar to other Cisco products? I guess not.
No, it's not. It's
very simple archives.
I'm not sure if I can tell you this, but it's something in a tar file. So it's like a live operating system, pretty much. You can boot on it. I mean, I've been running it in VMware.
Okay.
Simply because it runs on Intel and not on something else. So I've been playing it on VMware. It's pretty straightforward.
Cisco. So the alternative Cisco platform is already there.
Actually,
just clone your VMware and we are done. And we ask for the source code, we put it visit, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, the platform is actually virtually in two senses. There is a version called V1000, which is a VMware-based virtual switch. So I mean, you can run this on VMware, having virtual switches inside it.
So does it have VMware, and you can run it on VMware, and it still has another VMware instance inside it with virtual switch?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You have to have vSphere anyway. because they have some specific drivers where you can make virtual switch ports on the VMware at some point.
So have you looked into these vulnerabilities on the embedded vSphere applications as well?
No, I haven't. Nothing like that. I've just been cracking this for fun and profit.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Yeah, we have. There.
Well, I'll just shout out.
Okay,
so
I'll repeat.
I'm a total Cisco noob, so forgive my question, but seeing as though they run in Linux, are they using SE Linux or RSBAC or some alternative?
Actually, they're running a embedded Linux system, and it's called Monte Vista. It's a commercial embedded Linux, which you can find in other products as well. I'm not sure which. But if you look at the Wikipedia page of NXOS, it has a reference to Monte Vista. Actually, I have a slide about it as well. See if I can. Of course. Yeah. Here we go. There it is. And it, yeah. You probably noticed kernel 2610 kind of old has probably kernel vulnerabilities. I don't know. I've tried some, and I think some of them might be patched because I haven't been able to run them. But also, I haven't. There's no compiler in this system. I haven't been able to get a compiler on it. So it might be badly compiled. I don't know. I can't really compile stuff. Yeah.
Can I get a copy of the hidden commands?
That's actually something I would like to save for future events. If I find anything more interesting, that is, because I found a couple of things. One thing I couldn't show you today, and the other thing I showed you. And there isn't a lot more things to find there. A lot of these hidden commands are actually public. If you search the web for hidden Cisco commands, there's a couple of web pages that describes them, and I'd say at least 90% of them are the same here. So there's just very, very few of them. I mean, most of these hidden commands are just parameters of other commands saying blah 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 debug, and this debug thing doesn't show up when you make a question mark. So it's pretty boring in that case, in that sense.
Is there any URL where somebody can download the bin file and...
Yeah, cisco.com.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you can just create an anonymous or a Cisco normal partner. You can?
I think you have to be a partner at some point. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, the firmware updates are normally downloadable from Cisco, and so yeah, you can do what George has been doing and start running it in VMware and continue the research.
Yeah.
I would guess. Yeah, it might actually be on Google profile.
Yeah.
I just take a question here. Since there are a lot of Linux backdoors, have you tried the backdoor switch?
Linux backdoors?
Yeah, have you tried the backdoor switch?
No. It's pretty difficult because it's partly a live operating system, meaning that when you boot it, it will extract itself from media, and it will run in RAM only. So it's pretty difficult to do that. However, most of the configuration files are static. So the configuration files may be changed and backdoored if it's possible. I mean, you can add more accounts and stuff in the Linux part of this, which is not shown in the other one, in the other part. So normal admin wouldn't see it.
Also, there is, if you look into Monte Vista, I think there is a similar compile chain that builds those images in Open Embedded as well. So, I mean, you could just take out the files and redo the image, probably with Open Embedded, which is basically what Monte Vista is using to make new patched images.
Yeah, if you guys want to see, I can show you some stuff. how it looks like under the shell.
Yeah.
I've not really prepared this, so I'm just going to freebase this. I'm going to change the font size because it was too huge. 13, 14, 14. All right. So this is the bin file. This is the configuration. This is the version. This is not the latest version. However, these vulnerabilities exist in all known versions. So if anybody want to take note of the bin file name, it's there. And yeah, as you can see, I've been playing it for quite a while. If you want to take notes, yeah, I'll just wait. Yeah, you can see here, you see the open source references here as well. So I don't know how this open source thingy grabbing sourcing works, but yeah. It says no supervisor present. That's because I'm here. No, it's because in normal cases there would be, as I said at the beginning, there would be two hardwares, two motherboards inside this big machine, and they call these two instances supervisors. So that's why. Are you done? Yeah. Cool. So this is my shell. Here is all the crap, and as you can see, there's a lot of crap going on here. And yeah, the system GDB obviously isn't there. But it works anyway. Let's see if we can find the process to crash. Let's take 2994. GDB 2994. I'm not going to do this because it's going to freeze my thing. So, if I... Yeah. So if I exit the Cisco shell, I'm in the Linux. Ta-da! That's what it is. I've been trying to find the kernel configuration, but it's not in the same places that it used to be, so there's probably some patch letting it not be there. It looks like this. As you can see, the root file system is just RAM. That's why you can't really fiddle with it too much. However, config 0 and config 1 are writable. And these are directories where configuration file for each virtual instance is saved. So if we go into CG0, there's some stuff here. And it's actually not very interesting. Most of the fun stuff is in some EPC. Oh yeah, let's look at that. What was it? It should be very, very small. Some roots, bin. It's not even there. Yeah. Here's some boots. What I can try is some bin. No password. Here's all the demons, by the way. I don't really have the permissions. This is the unprivileged Linux user that is being used when you log on as an admin. So you're never getting root actually.
Is there a root password set? Is there a shadow file?
It's actually locked. There is a shadow file. I actually looked at this before. It's locked. There is no password for it, or actually it's a start. So, admin is my user, obviously, and it's not a whole lot going on here. It's where's my pipe? A lot of stuff. I'm more interested to see the use as well. For instance, you have TFTPD on his root, obviously, very good. They have a tiny HTTP server, and they have a lot of other crazy stuff. Everything is running at root. Very nice. You have this. There we go. Here's the web server. We use root, obviously, very good.
Have you looked at that that binary?
I have. It's an old version of TFTPD, and it's been patched to those vulnerabilities that are found. So they've obviously done something good at some point.
But if you take one of these binaries to another system,
yes,
out of the image it will run.
No, actually not, because what they've done to make this whole thing very slim, they're using a ton of shared libraries, custom shared libraries, I mean hundreds. So the binaries are actually quite tiny, and everything is in bloody binary, in bloody shared libraries. So it's not even the original way they compile it, it's just a mess. It will probably run at some point, but I haven't been able to do it, even though I have all the binaries and all the shared libraries.
So there's a lot of linking and stuff to work on together.
And I also need a very old version of libc. You know, it's very good. Actually, I think most of these things are compiled for kernel 2.4 or something, and then the kernel was upgraded to 2.6. Yeah. There's some interesting stuff here, which, if you look at, this is the shell script that is executed when you log on as admin with SSH. It's actually not a binary, it's a shell script which then runs the binary. And it looks like this. And if you start reading it, it looks very strange, at least in my eyes. I've actually been able to exploit this. And what you do, you actually can run this command instead of shell. So you actually run bash and that command. That's what we have to do. And this is actually a XML way of administrating the switch. I haven't tried to fuss it or anything, but it's probably possible. And if so, I'm running it in bash, so it's obviously very good. So there's a lot of stuff here to look at. They also use a lot of expect scripts when you're running SSH, which is very nice. Yeah, there we go. For you guys who knows expect, this must obviously be a very good thing to do most. So that nothing can go wrong. And yeah, there's a little blah blah. Yeah, exactly. I need to include, oh yeah, here we go. Interesting. It says 35. I don't know why. Yeah, you know, yeah, that's what I said, there's a lot of crap here. Yeah. How much time do we have?
I think we're. I think there's nothing more on before lunch, right? So